Is it new console season again already? Time flies. But much like the constantly shrinking winter months, thanks to the perfectly normal and in no way caused by humans climate patterns, the time between new console releases is rapidly diminishing. A new PlayStation, a new Nintendo toy, and even a new Xbox. But how can you blame these companies? They have to constantly update these devices because the middle class, they can only look over at the PC Master Race in envy as they constantly upgrade their rigs part by part. Well, where will it stop? And how long before we just subscribe to a yearly upgrade service where we're just renting our consoles without never truly owning them? Who knows?
Here we go!
No, you fucking cuck!
Peggy 18.
Actually, that's not such a bad prediction, Ricky. It's all happening too fast. Oh God, we've given these evil, bloodthirsty maniacs a great idea on how to suck even more money out of our already emaciated wallets and dicks. What have we done?
We're bad.
But back to the story at hand, if you are old enough to remember, and you're probably not, you'll know that recent console cycles have typically stretched out over the course of many years. The Xbox 360 was released back in 2005, and the Xbox One was released in 2013. A whole lifetime, where your lives are concerned.
Yeah.
So about 8 years in between releases. The PlayStation 3 and 4 release dates were also very similar. But recently, it seems like it's a race to put out updated consoles with slight changes faster than we could have ever expected.
True. Since 2013 saw the release of the X-Bone and the PS4, we've also seen the Xbox One S, which is an upgrade and allows for some 4K capabilities. Some 4K capabilities. Well as somebody once told me the world is gonna roll
Don't
me.
get sued. We can't get sued.
Sorry. They've also released a slim version of the PS4 and a PS4 Pro, which just dropped last year. Then, of course, there was the Wii U, which came out in 2012, and the Nintendo Switch, which came out this year. A little more time between those for a device that's at least different enough, I guess. But now we have yet another new contender from one of the big three. Microsoft's Project Scorpio. A freak in the sheets. This Xbox fucks.
I'm not a good match for it, but I'll give it a shot.
I'll try anything once. And if all the guesstimations are correct, we could see full release of the Xbox Project Scorpio from Microsoft, whatever the hell they're gonna call it. We're gonna see this possibly by the end of the year.
This is all thanks to some recent posts made over on the website Eurogamer, who were given access to the new console during its development phase, but claim that everything is running ahead of schedule to the point where they say it's likely that we're just 6 months away from release. Now here's some of the info that they revealed. Combining smart design with sheer horsepower, Project Scorpio hits the 6 teraflop target set for it at E3 last year, thanks to a custom GPU that's been designed from the ground up for optimal performance on today's game engines. And that runs at an unprecedentedly high clock speed for a console. The GPU is paired with 12 gigabytes of fast GDDR5 memory and a custom 8-core CPU, and the whole thing is housed in a compact body with integrated power supply and, for a console, state-of-the-art cooling.
Now, if none of that makes sense to you, it's faster than the previous one.
Wait, integrated power supply, does that mean it's gonna be like the PlayStation and just have a cord instead of a fucking brick?
Yeah.
That's like getting all hot next to like my pile of like sticks that I keep next to my TV?
So that's good. That's a good thing there. That's the biggest upgrade so far.
Yeah.
Anyways, they continued. Performance is remarkable. We saw a Forza Motorsport demo running on the machine at native 4K and Xbox One equivalent settings, and it hit 60 frames per second with a substantial performance overhead, suggesting Scorpio will hit its native 4K target across a range of content, with power to spare to spend on other visual improvements. And while 4K is the target, Microsoft is paying attention to 1080p users, promising that all modes will be available to them. Now, the screenshot they included with the article certainly is impressive. It's a screenshot of Forza.
Car games are always the best looking.
Car games are literally always shown off for the graphics capabilities because it's an incredibly controlled environment for the most part. Still impressive for a console that will hopefully be priced in a way that doesn't break the bank.
Yeah.
But again, you're gonna end up just leasing these things from the companies after they keep upgrading every fucking year.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Here's how they got me.
Yeah.
I bought a 4K TV 6 months ago. I've watched probably 5 minutes of 4K content on it.
Yeah.
So
Need the upgrade.
I'm gonna drop several $100 more on this fucking thing just to justify my initial purchase of a 4K TV. Well done.
When's the Switch hitting 4K?
Never.
You gotta put a gas-powered motor on the back of it.
Yeah. Anyway, but you know what will help break the bank?
Yes.
Helping others cheat in one of the biggest multiplayer games in recent history because Blizzard.
That's how you pronounce it, right?
Blizzard.
Blizzard.
They just won a huge judgment over a company called Bossland, who released a tool used to cheat in the game Overwatch in July of last year, just after the game's actual release. This isn't the first time that Blizzard has taken this company to court either. They've also filed against them for creating cheating tools which allowed players an unfair advantage in their MOBA, Heroes of the Storm. Blizzard lost that case, but in this new judgment for Overwatch, a judge in California,
Bah!
a arugula-eating California judge, awarded,
Give me some more quinoa!
they gave Blizzard $8.6 million.
A drop in the bucket.
A single day's worth of microtransactions.
Yeah.
To be fair, it was a default judgment because the company responsible for the cheat tool just chose not to defend itself and said that it would instead just contest the ruling at a later time.
I don't think I want to come to America, even if it is to defend myself. Anyways, we've covered some decent news. We've covered a lawsuit. We have to hit the T.U.G.S trifecta by talking shit about something. So let's just set our sights on the easiest targets of 2017, Nintendo and Mass Effect.
My two favorite things.
Nintendo has entered the motherfucking warp zone this week, and not in a good, oh cool, a secret area with extra coins way. So here's the thing. It turns out, some Nintendo Switch, somebody once told me my Switch was gonna bend, and some users are experiencing bending issues with the console, seemingly due to the fact that people experiencing this problem are typically leaving their Switches docked for a majority of the time that it's being used. They have no social life.
You gotta be careful with docking.
Yeah. Could go wrong real quickly.
Docking is, it's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, now the Switch apparently has to work a bit harder when it's docked, and it's obviously not getting as much ventilation when it's sandwiched between two other plastic pillars. So the thinking is that the Switches are getting a bit too hot and expanding, which is causing them to resemble Link's bow.
Oh.
Yeah, it's certainly not an isolated incident either. One look at this Techno Buffalo article shows off a few cases where this is happening. But, let's put our marketing minds at work here. This might not be such a bad thing because Nintendo could just play this off as some clever marketing for their new curved screen Nintendo Switch product. And fanboys would probably eat that shit up. Oh, I've got the limited edition bow-shaped Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, curved screen, so hot right now.
Yeah, you can look at it at all angles.
Yeah. Anyway, Nintendo hasn't released a statement about those issues at the time of this writing, but at least some companies can at least admit when they're wrong and delete the video. I mean, release a statement and patch to start fixing things.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, the people behind Mass Effect Andromeda released a statement that might as well have said, you were all playing an early access version of the game, oops, sorry. But they promised that they are working diligently to bring you a completed version sometime in the near future. I don't know.
It's a beta.
Starting with patch number 1.05, which addressed some of the bigger issues with the game, including improved lip sync and facial acting during conversations, fixed collision issues, fixed bugs where music or VO wouldn't play or wasn't correct.
Those are some pretty bad issues. AAA game. Oh, and that's just right now. They also have one of the biggest updates coming soon. More male romance options for Scott Ryder.
Yeah.
Because we all know by now that this game is a sex simulator wrapped in a boring space RPG wrapping paper kind of thing. And don't you dare try to deny it because you are lying to yourself and us. But speaking of male romance, it's time to bring in your favorite hot, sexy male gaming journalist crush, Shibby, for another ethical review.
Get in here, Shibby.
T.U.G.S boys and T.U.G.S girls, this week an entire community of gamers went from hyped to pissed off in 24 hours, potentially to never play again, to make another purchase again, and abandon what used to be the most loved developer among a huge slew of gamers, Blizzard Entertainment. Yes, the developers and publishers of such games, StarCraft, Overwatch, and World of Autism. Whoa, Shibby.
Jeez, did
You-
just edit yourself?
You can't say that. Well, I will tell you what I can say.
Who are you arguing with?
Is that a lot more than what Blizzard is saying about the broken fucking random number generator in Hearthstone's latest expansion, Journey to Angora. Indeed, gamers, Hearthstone has further solidified its stake as the most pay-to-win competitive game in the world. A game that is almost constantly in the top 5 games on Twitch.tv with mindless drones watching their mindless drone streamers click the screen about once per minute. What are you playing tonight, Shibby? Hearthstone. It saddens me that the only game I have on my phone, Hearthstone, because it really is a good mobile title in addition to computer, has managed to fail this hard. A game I loved, past tense. A developer I loved, now being accused of censoring forum posts that complain about RNG and bad luck with pack openings. Usually, I would say, well, that is RNG. But in this case, there is overwhelming evidence that something is up with the amount of duplicates and low legendary pull rates.
Ow.
Blizzard for shame and Shibby criminal. Being as ethical as I am, I was also personally wrong by this. Ugh, I know. I got three legendaries in 100 packs. That is $100 for 3 of the 23 possible legendaries in this expansion. 2 basically being from the pity timer. Factor in these quest legendary cards are literally game-changing for a number of the classes. It makes Hearthstone more pay to win than ever before, except I, other players around the world, and coworkers here in the studio paid to lose. Overall, these game-changing cards are just too difficult to get, especially with how poor the Un'Goro RNG is. For the $50 pre-order, there is just not enough value gained by the consumer to even be competitive anymore or play the creative decks that Blizzard has promised. It feels shitty. And things need to change.
I'm shaking my head off camera.
I am forced to give the current Un'Goro expansion a 0 out of 23, the number of legendaries you will most likely not get.
Wow, you gave a Blizzard game a 0 and broke Elliot's toy? That's my toy, Shibby. Thank you very much, Shibby. It's good to see how ethical you are when you give a bad score to a game that you play for 23 hours out of the day. Yeah. Now, for today's Amazon review, we would like to honor, not that game. We're gonna honor the re-release of the classic PlayStation game, Parappa the Rapper.
Fucking great game.
Yeah, well, we're gonna honor that by showing off an Amazon review for the game spin-off, which not too many people remember.
Jammer Lammy.
And for good reason. Okay, you got it. Yeah, you were alive back then. We all get it, tough guy.
It was a great game.
Yeah,
well, they were both great.
The game was called Jammer Lammy, and the review for this game, sorry to break your heart, comes from Julian Holm, who titled their review, "What Happened Here?" They said,
I was a big fan of Parappa the Rapper, and I was seriously disappointed with the sequel. It's bad enough that you can beat it in 30 minutes, but what's worse is that you wouldn't want to. The music's just bad, and this is inexcusable for a music game. Where are all the catchy tunes? I can't remember one line from this game, whereas I have all of Parappa the Rapper's songs memorized. It's missing those great lyrics found in Parappa, like my favorite. Sunny in my life, she's like a dice, I can't tell which way to turn till I spice. Skip Jammer and get Parappa. 1 star.
those classic lyrics
He had flow.
that make perfect sense.
It's a great game. They should resell it.
They did. It came out this week
Oh, fuck.
in HD.
Oh, fuck.
That's the whole point.
Oh.
Anyways,
I thought
we-
you were just digging through the archives.
No,
I
they
don't pay
re-released
attention
it.
to gaming news.
You play everything that's 3 years after it comes out.
Yeah, I see whatever's...
He just got the original Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah, no.
That's why you know it
On
so
that
well.
black disc.
Yeah. Anyways, we have some other content you should watch over here. We did a lot of live streams this week. You should check those out. Most recently, we did Super Fights with Maddox and with Robert Krasinski. And I keep saying his last name wrong. It's Kaczynski.
Yeah, you got a real awkward moment where you didn't know he was the voice of the villain in Mass Effect that you were talking shit about. Yeah.
Anyways, we also have another episode where we played Mystery Murder Party. And Elliot kind of dominated on that one.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Well, it's still fun to watch. Go watch those and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
One.